Hey everyone, what's up? Um, have you ever thought when you think of India's freedom struggle, Gandhi's spinning wheel often comes to our mind. But do we know that behind this simple gesture that once united the entire country was a fierce battle of ideas?
Let me take you back to 1917 when the world was at war. But Asia's first Nobel laureate and Bengali polymath Rabindranath Tagore spoke of a different struggle. He gave a series of lectures delivered in Japan and the United States, which was compiled and published in the book Nationalism. In that book, Tagore disagreed sharply with Gandhi's idea of Swadeshi. For Tagore, rejection divides, while unity heals. He wrote, the spirit of rejection finds its support in the consciousness of separateness, the spirit of acceptance in the consciousness of unity. Tagore has always been a pioneer in promoting the intellectual union of the East and West. To him, blind worship of one's nation could eventually turn into moral blindness, ultimately creates a sacred obligation to humanity that can lead to disaster, something the world would later witness in Hitler's Germany. In his novel Ghore Baire, published in 1916 and brilliantly adapted by Satyajit Ray, Tagore warned how Swadeshi movement could slip into narrow and aggressive forms of nationalism. A message that still matters whether we look at early 20th century Bengal or certain parts of our modern world. However, this clash of ideas wasn't just between Gandhi and Tagore. Sardar Patel, the astute unifier of India, often placed immediate administrative consolidation above Mahatma Gandhi's vision of idealistic village republics. Moreover, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose passionately championed rapid industrialization, famously clashing with Gandhi's emphasis on the slower-paced cottage industries, believing that a nation in urgent need of progress could not afford to linger.
So, Gandhi's economic philosophy wasn't just a single doctrine, it was a living debate, an evolving framework of ideas. So, on this Gandhi Jayanti, let's look at three of his key principles: Swaraj, Sarvodaya, and Nai Talim, but through the lens of New India, today's India.
Swaraj. On development, perhaps the most defining economic debate was between Gandhi and Pandit Nehru. For Nehru, progress meant massive centralized industries, the so-called temples of modern India. Although crafted in a socialistic fabric, the benefits of progress were designed to flow from top to bottom. But Gandhi's Swaraj was its antithesis. Decentralized vision of self-sufficient oceanic circles of village republics or Gram Swaraj, where power flowed from the grassroots up. Today, that debate feels alive again. Our digital public infrastructure, like the UPI and Open Network for Digital Commerce or ONDC, are visibly empowering grassroots people from small entrepreneurs to artisans and farmers. Yet, for the gig economy, the same digital infrastructure is creating massive platforms that control access, data, and opportunity. Therefore, the challenge is whether technology will lead to self-determination or digital age monopolies. Sarvodaya. Sarvodaya, meaning welfare for all, embodies Gandhi's profound ethical vision for economic activity. He envisioned an economy that serves humanity rather than the other way around. This noble philosophy was deeply influenced by Gandhi's reading of John Ruskin's Unto This Last, which he paraphrased with striking clarity. The good of the individual is contained in the good of all, reminding us that true well being thrives not in isolation but in our interconnectedness with society. A lawyer's work has the same value as a barber's, challenging societal norms and elevating the dignity of every vocation. A life of labor is a life worth living, celebrating the fulfillment found in diligent work and the dignity it brings. This philosophy is now started considered as the intellectual ancestor of today's ESG frameworks. The push for sustainable business, societal responsibility, and ethical governance directly echoes Gandhi's insistence that capital has a responsibility to the society, not just shareholders. Once Gandhi observed children struggling with abstract geometry, and he intervened with a solution. Have them measure a real vegetable patch. Learning by doing. That was his Nai Talim. In the age of artificial intelligence, his approach feels more relevant than ever. The future belongs to those who blend creativity with practical problem-solving skills. The union of hand and mind that Nai Talim intended to foster. So was Gandhi's economics too generic or a stroke of genius? Perhaps neither. It was less a rigid blueprint of a map and more a compass guiding us toward balance, empathy, and purpose. In an age of climate crisis and automation, Gandhi's real question still makes sense. What is the ultimate purpose of our economy?
As we face the fourth industrial revolution, Gandhi's questions on equity, dignity, and balance feel more urgent than ever. I have made a detailed blog post on Substack that dive deeper into the details. Also, you can check in LinkedIn where I have made a visual carousel that elaborates the key debates. But I want to know more from you. Please write in comments whether Gandhi's economic philosophy still makes sense or is it a timeless ideal. And if you feel the video resonated somewhere, then please support me and help me to put more such infotainment videos for you. So subscribe and like and support. Thanks for watching.